Today we have come together to witness an engaging interactive session on top solutions for indoor air quality. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and privilege for me to introduce you to today's distinguished speakers. Mr. Ketan Seth, Product Manager, Airside Products and Sensors, Belimo Automation India Private Limited. Ms. Namita Gupta, Founder and CEO, Ayurveda. Mr. Suhail Parkar, Director, IAQA India Chapter. Mr. Richie Mittal, Managing Director, Overdrive Engineering Private Limited, and Mr. Vishal Kapoor, Managing Director, Meho-HCP Air Systems Private Limited.
To start with, I would like to start by igniting today's talk with your views, Mr. Parker, your views on present industry approach towards indoor air quality.
The subject has become very prominent, especially due to COVID and with the number of multinational companies coming in. Unfortunately, still something like a tick mark, a to-do list has the IAQ audit been done. And the knowledge existing with the clients is not enough. And maybe we have not been able to educate them enough. And there is an aspirational level that we want to go to as far as indoor air quality is concerned. And there are basics which the facility managers can see themselves and they don't act on. Half the problems which we are in a place today, we can solve just in a walkthrough, not even taking out a single meter in our hand. And the walkthrough will tell us 10 problems, which if they solve, could sort out 50% of all the issues. You have an IT company with maybe 2,000 people in a building. Building is it's an air-conditioned closed envelope. People are walking in straight to the building. The biggest contaminant are people. A simple carpet to catch dust from feet of 10 meters would have limited the amount of dust that were brought into the building by the occupants, not looked at. When you enter the place, the first thing you'll see an AC grill right across the entrance with black marks on it. It is about 15 feet high. You can't reach it, so he's not cleaned it. But the point is not that. The point is that dust is come there due to microbial contamination because the hot air and the cold air are mixing out there and condensation took place. And that's a very visible sign. I don't need an instrument to see that. You go to the toilets, you'll see most of the pipelines will have a leak and a green stain on the side of the pipe. You don't need a meter to see that. The bathroom exhaust is not working. A tissue paper you just put on top and you see it's not going up. You go to the canteen, the kitchen, the cooking smell is coming into the canteen area. That means the exhaust ventilation is not working. I didn't need a meter for that too. And there's the housekeeping team, which is using a vacuum cleaner on a carpet. I've been told I want my PM 2.5, PM 1 taken, but that carpet cleaner is throwing up dust from the carpet straight up. It does not have a HEPA filter on the exhaust. So why am I taking a PM 2.5 reading? As an IAQ professional, if I want to, I can find the problems very easily just to fail them or pass them. We know exactly where to go and take the reading. And it's not a one-time reading. With seasons, with time of the day, with occupancy, things keep changing. It's a continuous monitoring from time to time, which at different times, at different seasons, different occupancies, where the IAQ can change. When we talk about an IAQ solution for a building, a lot of things are practical, some are impractical, but a plan has to be a complete plan with a goal which they need to achieve. Most of the inquiries we get today are, sir, aap 10 readings aake le le. 10 readings of what? Nobody has a clue. We try to train them, explain to them, and at what time of the day we took the reading. And we all, the professionals, are struggling with this issues. The lab should be a NABL lab. The lab is not coming to your office. But nobody is asking the auditor who's coming to test to identify from where he's reading, what is his qualification? The lab has not come to your office. Just only send the sample to the lab. But the guy who came to take the testing, what is his qualification? How many readings he should take? From where he should take? How he should take? What is the protocol to be followed while taking the sample? All these things are being ignored. And I just thought this is an opportunity to talk of the things which are not be able to do, which our fraternity find very frustrating today. We keep telling them that we're doing an IAQ audit. We actually are not justifying our claims because we've not been able to educate the building managers or the building owners enough, and cost being most of the element, and they're spending the money, maybe not getting the results. And solutions can be given if a proper testing is done. Now, for example, I had gone to a building where they had a data room where they had split ACs. Now, generally, if you have a split AC in a data room, it will be under negative pressure. So all the contaminants in the rest of the building, which was centrally air conditioned, would come into the data room, leading to corrosion of that equipment. And that's something which is visible, which is obvious, which can be seen.
So, sir, you are very clearly stated about, an elegant observation can even make, to understand the quality of air. Wonderful, sir. We will come back to you again. So, I would like to take one more feedback. Mr. Ketan said, my question to you is, what new developments are taking place to manage indoor air quality in big spaces in view of large gathering of people?
Yeah, certainly. First of all, thank you for giving us an opportunity to, showcase our capability as well as sharing the knowledge what we gather globally. Before just giving my input, I would like to just share Belimo every year spends a lot of investment in R&D and innovation. And being an automation company, we focus a lot on this measurement because measurement is very important from the control point of view. So like you rightly mentioned that we are going in that direction. Like the last 2 years, we have seen the importance of an indoor air quality. We are developing good sensors, good accuracy, good sensing element which can long last, the sustainability, and how accurately it can transmit the signal or the parameters what it has measured to the control system. Apart from that, there are a lot of solutions because being a product company, our approach is always from the solution point of view. So we have never been in the market like we are just selling a product. So like you said, we have developed certain solutions. We have done a lot of studies, and based on that, we have defined how best we can achieve a healthy indoor air. So sensing are there, controls are there in terms of air and water, and we are still continuously investing a lot in that direction so that we can reach up to an optimum level. Now, as we all know, apart from the IAQ, IoT is also one of the important things which is going on. Analytics also a part of it. We are also knowing that artificial intelligence is also become a very, very important aspect because everything cannot be handled by human beings. There are a lot of data which is coming in. So you need to analyze data, you need to work on it, not only making the building energy efficient, but also it has to be healthy enough for the people who are working, because now all the companies have started thinking a lot about their employees because they have become one of the big assets for them. So we are developing the product which needs a high-end solution. So we are working towards that.
Yeah, thank you so much for your update on the upcoming technologies or the latest technologies available. So we are talking about the monitoring of indoor air quality. Based on parameters to monitor indoor air quality, what remedial options are there in place according to you?
Hi, I am the founder of a company called AirVeda. We provide end-to-end air quality monitoring solutions. So actually, we don't do the sort of solutions for fixing air quality. We focus more on the monitoring side, where we do the sensors and the dashboards and the alerts and remote monitoring, automation. So those are the areas that we work on. But we partner closely with air quality consultants who are actually doing the purification in buildings. So and more we're seeing these things getting automated, like demand control, ventilation, of course, purification in the systems. A lot of different technologies are coming up around purification now. Apart from filter, HEPA filters is sort of the standard technology there. But we're seeing a lot of other sort of technologies that are also coming in purification. There are also, if we look at the different types of parameters which lead to indoor air pollution, right? So there's particulate matter, which usually comes from outdoors. So there are a lot of indoor sources of particulate matter as well, like, if there's indoor cooking or dust or, from carpets. Then there are, have carbon dioxide, which is an indoor pollutant because of a large number of people who are breathing constantly indoors. Then there's TVOCs, which are often generated, due to use of certain chemicals or sprays inside the buildings. So these are some of the key sort of pollutants that we look at. Apart from that, also look at carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, which are often, again, where there's sort of combustion, right? In order to take care of these solutions of particulate matter, primarily filtration is the right solution, but also looking at the sources, right, that are generating it. So, apart from just sort of trying to purify, they're also looking at indoor sources and making sure that, there are no indoor sources which are actually creating this pollution. For carbon dioxide, it's primarily demand control, ventilation. And then again, for TVOCs, it's, primarily looking at the indoor sources. Of course, a lot of sort of plants and a lot of purification solutions, this carbon filters, which can help with TVOCs. So I think, in terms of solutions, it's basically two things, right? One, trying to reduce the sources, the indoor sources of pollution, and really making sure that you're not creating pollution indoors. And then, actively sort of using solutions which can help clean the air and provide a healthy environment. And of course, as Mr. Ketan said, right, energy efficiency is really important. So, we need to do this in a way that is automated and efficient and optimized, so that, we also, using energy in the correct way.
Yeah, that sounds very reliable as well as sustainable approach towards indoor air quality. Mr. Vishal, by coming to you, do you think how far filter technology can improve air quality, even in the existing installations?
Thank you firstly for having me over here and trying to share my thoughts and ideas. I have some very distinguished panelists along with me who are much more knowledgeable in this subject than me. I come with more of operational experience in the field out there and have the luxury or the capability to look at sites which are as small as 1,000 square feet office to or maybe 1,00,000 square feet footprint. And there's one thing that is very important for everyone to understand, everyone who's listening in, that it's not one solution fits all. It's not that you just get into a system of installing whatever's available and stuff it into your system and say, yeah, I'm breathing good air. It's not necessary. Maybe your air at the very beginning might not be very bad. So you've got to assess where you stand first. Also where you intend to reach, because if it's just a 1 hour occupied room, for an example I'm giving you, you do not need to go the distance to understand what I need to achieve. So you need to categorize where you stand and where you need to reach firstly. As far as your question regarding filters goes, I'll take it from a different angle. Most people used to think, and even currently think, that air conditioning is all about just getting the right comfort temperature inside. And now that's a very big anomaly. Air conditioning, ventilation, HVAC as we call it basically, is not just about temperature. That's just one of the features. One of the very clear definitions of good air conditioning means good air quality. Now, a well-designed, a correctly designed system, a well-installed and operated system can not only ensure improvement in indoor air quality without doing much interventions. On the other side, a badly designed or a badly maintained system can actually worsen your air quality without doing anything to it. So you've got to first ensure that what you put in your system is correct, rightly designed, and not being operated, not being ignored on maintenance. On the aspect of filters that you came in, obviously, we all talk of 2 mantras to ensure good air quality inside any space, and everyone would have said it, will say it in the next hour ahead, is ventilation and filtration. Filtration is a very wide subject. Till a few years back, filtration just used to mean a media filter of various kinds, starting from Meho-HCP going up to a HEPA filter possibly, depending on the applications. Now people have started understanding and talking more about filters. There are passive filters, active filters, a lot of other kinds of electronic filters, etc. have started coming, which people are using. Some are effective, some might not be effective, some have side effects, some might not have side effects. But yes, filtration is very important. Whatever minimum level, even in a simple high wall AC in a house, you have a filter that's working over there. And it is entrapping pollutants. It's not as effective as any large filter or any much more efficient filter. It is entrapping particles over there, and you must be seeing in your own house that you need to clean the filters every 15 days or maybe even less, and you'll be surprised that amount of dust that filter has garnered. Now just imagine if that filter was not there, you would have been breathing in all that dust inside. So going ahead, depending on the kind of application, and I think Namita said that, depending on what you are generating inside the room. Now if you are a bedroom which is no carpet, not much of woodwork and polish and all that, the chances are you would not be generating much of VOCs. Your main concern is going to be particulate matter, because you would keep your window open a little bit to get in outdoor air. So you then plan your filtration from that point of view and ensure that you put in the right filter. Most importantly, when we talk about filters, is buying filters which are certified filters. There are filters of same rating coming from 10 companies, and 8 of them, believe you me, are not anywhere near what that rating is supposed to be. So you've got to buy filters from licensed companies, certified products. Do not just go in and buy whatever you want to buy. Do not overkill. No, there was a time in the middle people started saying, I'll put a HEPA in my system. No, you necessarily do not need a HEPA in all systems. In fact, we do not even recommend a HEPA outside maybe healthcare or laboratories or those specific critical applications. We are saying that even if you can put a MERV13, it's fantastic. That's just much more advanced a filter. If you can't put a MERV13, and we'll get to that, I guess, during the latter part of the conversation, you can go in with a better MERV8 or a MERV10, because whatever you do is going to help you improve your levels of particulate matter or pollutants inside that space.
Thank you so much. Actually, you gave very useful tips. Along with, you also mentioned about the maintenance as well as design aspects. We are going to come back in the submissions of each speaker in detail. While coming to Mr. Mittal, this is a basic question common man really want to know. That is, one aspect we talk about fresh air, other aspect we talk about the contaminated air. How do we effectively exchange it?
So first is that, it is not a fresh air. So we normally call it outdoor air. I think in India, we don't have fresh air. We have outdoor air. So let's clear one myth. Let's call it outdoor air. And, there is a saying in our industry, dilution is the solution to the pollution. So I think if you understand this line, I think fresh air ventilation and, we should not thank COVID for what it has done, but we should thank COVID for only one thing. At least we started speaking about air quality. We never spoke about it. I see so many webinars, so many seminars. I mean, all of us are sitting here. We all know how busy. You are lucky to have Vishal, who we made a COVID guideline during when the COVID started, all on ventilation and air quality. So coming back to, it is very important to have outdoor air. And as Namita mentioned about monitoring, so we talked about CO2 monitoring. CO2 monitoring is the only way where you can know how much amount of outdoor air is inside the area. There are schools, there are enclosed areas where we do not have, good ventilation. Now, good ventilation is one is inside ventilation, one is outdoor air ventilation. But if you do not have outdoor ventilation, so your CO2 level, which per se will keep on increasing, and that has a severe effect on health, mind, everything. And that can be measured easily. And as Namita also mentioned that we are going on energy efficiency, so we are having a demand control ventilation system which measures the required CO2 level and brings in the outdoor air. So ventilation plays a very, very important role. And I think in the COVID time, we have been talking about it, the kind of filtration that Vishal mentioned, about 13 years, people went to overkill of HEPA filter because, with little knowledge. And but we have made a good guideline on our society, ASHRAE, where everybody uses it. In fact, Vishal was the chair of that committee, and we were all part of it. And that document was very well appreciated by government, by private organizations, because people were going for overkill, and we very clearly defined what is required. So coming back to your question, ventilation is very important, and I think that is the only solution that we have it otherwise without COVID also. But in COVID time, we are talking of good amount of outdoor air, so that in case there is any, COVID virus sitting inside, it is circulated and picked up by the filtration system, whatever we have. So that is what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mittal. Thank you so much for your inputs, as well as Vishalji. We are looking forward to hear from you, more in your submission session. Thank you. And before we move into our submissions, Mr. Gopal, you have any questions to ask?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Mr. Prasad. My question to Mr. Vishal is, why people should be educated for investing in indoor air quality solutions?
I remember one of Richie's very early slides in one of the presentations when he had compared to the amount of water we consume or the amount of food we eat per day as compared to the amount of air we breathe. There's no relation. It's like it just goes 100 to 200 times beyond that amount. And yet, when we are looking at buying a water purifier, we do not need education, right? Everyone today at any level of society from a financial perspective is very, very careful of what kind of water they are going to consume, whether it's filtered or boiled or RO and bottled water, etc. Unfortunately, air, which can be far more or equally damaging if you have compared to if you have bad contaminated water, people aren't still very conscious about. So Hill talked about that COVID has taught us a lesson and people are taking it seriously. Somewhere, and I hope I'm wrong, I think we're again forgetting it because our memory, as humans, our memory is very, very, very limited, very short. We forget things very fast. And I can guarantee that to you if you go out on the field today and people who had done retrofit to the systems in 2020, towards the end of 20, and if you look at the condition of those systems today, I am telling you a big chunk of them would have gone to dust. The filters would not have been replaced, it would not have been touched. So it's something which needs to come from very much within from the masses, and it's like medias like you that need to tell people that firstly it's you yourself who is responsible for breathing well. If anybody is telling you, it's you who's going to get benefit or it's you who's going to get harm, short term, long term, everything. You come out of an office, you come out of a meeting room and saying, "Arey yaar, I've got a bad headache, my eyes are burning." It's nothing to do with the bad boss. In all probability, that also could be the reason. But in all probabilities, it's because that place was stale, it had no outdoor air, it had no ventilation coming in from outside. And you fail to realize that even if you own an office and you have people sitting over there, if you have better air quality, and there are studies which have been taken all over the world historically, that the amount it helps in increasing your productivity if you are ensuring good air quality for the people working in your office is phenomenal. You go to a hotel room and we've all experienced that you've not slept well at night at hotel rooms, and you are not going to go back to the hotel room. When you're going next time, you'll tell your person, or when you're looking yourself, you'll say, sorry, not that hotel, because that hotel had compromised on air quality. They'd either compromised on the installation or the maintenance, or possibly the operation due to energy savings. But in the end, they have lost out on revenue. So it's going to be an impact on the health, it's going to be an impact on productivity, it's going to be an impact on financial. On all across, is going to harm you. So it's something which you need to get in from inside, that it is very, very important to be conscious of what you're breathing. And there are places now in the world, and I hope that day comes in India, where you're forced to display your indoor CO2 in that place outside. So when I'm entering a restaurant, it displays outside that the CO2 level inside is 700 ppm or 600 ppm. It's within the green band. There are a few places in India also today, but it has to become a norm that I am a well-maintained air quality place. Please come into my place as compared to somewhere else. So I am pretty sure that more and more and more we talk about it, it is going to make a difference. But yes, we need to keep on pushing the message loud.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vishal, for sharing your perception. Splendid. Fair.